Okay, hello everyone. I am back from vacation. I am back from Anna Maria. You know what though? To be perfectly honest, I feel like I am back from a year-long hiatus that was in the upside down. Like I literally feel like I just came out of the upside down. I also feel like I'm looking a little bit to the side. Okay, that should help a little bit more. Alrighty. I am psyched for today. So I just want to do my general checks. Are we live? I'm only live today on Facebook because which is going to be so ironic considering what I'm about to tell you. Because hey, we're I'll tell you in a minute. I'll tell you in a minute actually. Let me just find here. All right, where were we going? And I'm trying to see if I'm live somewhere, but I don't know where. All right, there we go. I'm going to my business page. This is my song of Are We Going Live? Classic. I know you may have heard it before on the top 20 back in 1987 when I was still a child. Okay, let's see. Yep, here we go. I am live. Fabulous. I'm going to share this into the squad. And I'm pretty sure that Christy is doing these things as well, but it's been so long since I have been live that I'm pretty sure we're all a little bit rusty. All right. There we go. Posted. And then I'm going to post on my personal profile and then we'll be good to go. Today I'm not live on Fireside. I'm not live on YouTube because, again, just coming back. First live since coming back. But I am recording this. So Laura will be most pleased. All right, I did that. And now we're going to go to my profile. And that'll be that. And then we'll be good to go. That's not my profile. That is my business page profile. Haha. Here I am. My profile. All right. There we go. Done. All right. Next up, got to get my Word document that has all of my fun info. And that's it. Here we go. We're ready to go. Oh, well. Maybe not as ready to go as I thought. I just got off of a meeting. Otherwise, I would be more ready than I am now. I don't usually have meetings on Wednesday mornings, but this one got canceled and changed. Okay. All right. I called this image closing. I called this the document closing time, and I've had it stuck in my head ever since. Closing time. One last chance for something or the other. Blah, blah, blah. All right. And I can't see chat. Just want to make sure that there is there chat happening? And can you... Live, fabulous. I'm going to share this into the squad. I realized I'm glad you can even hear me. Okay. Hello. Guys, today's podcast is really more about resetting the next year for me. I have been, the last year, I really do feel like I was living in the upside down. There was just, and I didn't, and I'll be really honest, when I was in it, I didn't realize how hard everything was at that point. And the kind of things that I was working through on a really deep level as a person, as a human being and whatnot. As a result, over the last, say, 6 months or so, I kind of just cocooned into a shell and had to prioritize my mental health, my physical health, self-care, and really getting to know myself. Just who am I, right? Who am I outside of the expectations that people have of me or the expectations I think that people have of me? Who am I when I let go of the stories that my parents told me, my grandparents told me, my culture tells me? I had spent so much of my life responding to what I was anticipating other people's needs were to maintain some level of safety for myself as a person so that I could move through the world. We all do that. That's just sort of how life is, right? But I started to realize that there was such a thick layer of sadness, trauma, fear, things that I didn't even that I had just sort of ignored, that were just it's this thing that is just there, kind of like fibromyalgia. It's just there. What are you going to do about it? But I had a glimpse at some point last year that it might be possible to sort of get to the other side of it. And I thought that once I achieved everything that I ever wanted to achieve, that I got my dream house, my dream job, my dream husband, my dream life, everything, that then that feeling of underlying sadness and fear and anxiety and not being good enough and shame and embarrassment and all of those things, right, would go away because I've checked off all the boxes, right? There's a list of boxes that we all have that we say, okay, if I check these boxes off, then I'm going to be happy, right? So I checked off all those boxes, but yet, so upon reflection, I realized that I needed to rethink, because obviously if that's not making me happy, then that wasn't the issue, right? So I decided this year that my word was going to be surrender. And as many of you know, it has been a non-stop process. Hi, LaFern, so good to see you. Welcome, welcome. I shared this in the squad. Feel free to get get anybody who you know has been waiting for these lives to the live stream. So okay, so here I am now, right? And I've realized that I'm still unhappy. So I started to just surrender to the fact that maybe I didn't know what would make me happy. Maybe I had just been parroting back things that people had been telling me, books that I'd been reading, stuff that I saw on TV, just media, society, and our communities. Maybe I had just been caught up in like what they wanted. So I spent the last little while, probably starting in March, just kind of accepting, just doing research into myself, meditating, therapy, and really not paying a lot of attention to my business. Like not a lot of it at all. And what I learned through this process, I also read a book that actually I've been trying to find, like I have it close to me at all times, and I don't know where it is right now. It's called Laziness Does Not Exist. And the one time that I need it to like hold it up here, I can't find it. It might still be in a suitcase, so I'll have to double check. But at the same time as all this was happening, I realized that I wanted to run my business differently. I wasn't happy with the way it was structured. I no longer believed that success in business will make you happy. And I had a really hard time making that my pitch, right? As like, listen, success in business and you hit this goal and you do all these things and then you're going to be happy. I no longer believed it because I realized that there was something else that was contributing to our happiness, right? It doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter how many things you have. It doesn't matter how many clients are coming in. It doesn't matter if you have your dream house or your dream friends. If you don't feel it inside, right? If you inside don't feel these things. And during this same time, I started to work, as I was working with a lot of people who were sharing their stories, challenges, and whatnot with me, what I realized is this, and I'm going to tell you this. I'm talking to you directly. LaFern for sure. I'm talking to a lot of you right now, pretty much all of you. You know almost everything you need to know. You have the software. You have the tools. You have the coaches. You have everything that you need to be successful. The thing that tends to hold us all back is doubt. We doubt that we have what we need, so we're constantly looking outside to find something else, right? We doubt our choices, and so we're looking for people to validate our choices, whether they're coaches or family members. Anytime you ask somebody for an opinion, do you think I should do this? What do you think about this? We're looking for someone to validate our choices because we're not sure we can trust our own judgment. We spend a lot of time learning because there's this belief system that exists within us that being a learn-it-all is important, and that if you think that you stop learning, then clearly you're delusional, right? So we can't ever say that we've stopped learning because then somebody is going to think that you're delusional. So you always have to have some sort of course, some sort of thing that you're working on to grow so you can get better at your business. And it creates this infrastructure of business running that basically means, and here's what this is how it plays out in the real world. In the real world, how it plays out to real business owners is there's always another product for you to buy. There's always another coach for you to hire. There's always another new tactic or technique for you to try. And as a result, the things that actually are going to make your business go tend to get buried under a lot of the clutter. Now, I've been saying this for a really, really long time. That's where Hustle Proof Your Life came from. That's where a lot of these things came from. But what I realized is that it doesn't matter if I give you all of those things. I could literally hand you every single course that I have for free. But if in your mind you don't believe ever that you will have learned enough, you'll have enough tools, you'll have enough this, then you will always go searching for something else. Whether you have all of my courses and all of everybody else's courses that you've ever bought, this is why so many of us have so many courses we buy and we never look at, because we overload ourselves with the things that we think we need to know instead of really focusing on the things that actually create our success in our lives, and our happiness in our lives, and joy in our lives. We get distracted, right? And it's easier to be distracted and work on things that you know how to work on, right? Because, like, here's the thing. If I say to you, listen, your problem is that you don't know how to use Facebook. So, okay, great. You learn how to use Facebook, then you'll be successful, right? So that seems like a fairly straightforward problem solution. But how often does it actually work, right? How many people are still trying to figure out Facebook? Oh, almost everybody, I would imagine, right? Because it keeps changing. So now you have to learn something else, right? Because you're like, well, okay, I can't figure out all of Facebook. It's not working. Okay, what else can I do? What else can I do? Oh, okay, emails. All right, emails. I'll do emails. Okay, so after emails, then it's something else. It's always something else, okay? So, and throughout all of this, you're feeling like shit about your business. And you're feeling like shit about yourself. And you're feeling like shit about the things you're doing. It compounds itself. And I know this because not only have I experienced this, but my clients have experienced this as well. The squad has experienced this. This is a very common experience. So as I was sitting on the beach in Anna Maria and meditating and thinking about where I want to go in my life, I realized that number one, first and foremost, I want to help people stop feeling like shit about their business. And the truth is that though the roadmap to success is critical to that, once you have access to the roadmap and you go through the stuff that's in it, the issues that most people tend to run into are mindset issues. Because the stuff is all laid out in the roadmap. So the doing of the things has not really been the issue. It's the mindset that's the issue. Hi, Catherine. So good to see you, right? It's the mindset that's the issue. More than just that, I spent the last 6 months to a year dropping almost everything, just literally just being like, I can't. I'm just going to focus on healing. Not everybody has the luxury or the privilege to do that. I was very fortunate that I'm good at making money and I can find opportunities and I know how to leverage my skill set to make more money. And so I was very lucky that I'm not going to use the word lucky. I was very grateful that I was able to use these skills, right, to just be able to continue to meet all of my financial obligations, do all the things that I was supposed to do so that I could really have a safety net to just sit and marinate and learn and heal and whatnot. But not everybody has that time, right? So if you don't have that time, how do you put together a curriculum for how you feel better? How do you pick out books that would work well for you? How do you filter through podcasts and, you know, and figure out who the right people are that you want to be listening to at night when you're falling asleep or on your walk? Like, what kind of Instagrams do you want to follow? What kind of, like, there's so many things that when somebody says, oh, self-care, I mean, it's easy to say, but actually coming up with your strategy for self-care for yourself is a job on its own, especially if you're my audience, which means you're chronically ill. You definitely have some sort of hyphen. You are intersectional. You're usually, a caregiver for someone, you are a single mom, you are part of a marginalized community, but there's things that are already taking up enough of your time to where putting that thing together is just like, I don't have time to do that, which means I don't have time to do the thing, and it's just like, all right, fine, I'll just deal with doing my work, and I know how to deal with that problem because I need to learn how to use Facebook, right? It is a lot easier to just have a course that or like, I can do this and learn that thing and then figure it out, than it is to figure out your health journey, emotional health journey, spiritual health journey, while also trying to do all these things, especially when you consider that that's a whole sphere of its own, right? So, and then we're going to add in this last piece, okay? The last piece is that when George Floyd was murdered, I fell into an absolute spiral. I felt things I had not felt since I was living in Pakistan. And it was as if no time had passed between me being held hostage and a person being murdered before my eyes, right? And I realized that over the course of my life, I have really drifted away from my community, my culture, and the groups of people that I identify with and that I belong in, right? The communities that I belong in. And I did that because I was so so afraid of being rejected, of people saying that you're not white enough, you're not brown enough, you're not smart enough, you're not queer enough, you're not anything enough, to where I was like, well, I just don't want to go into any of these groups. So I put myself on the outside, which a lot of people that I work with do that as well. They put themselves on the outside to avoid the rejection. So over the last, but every time I tried to get involved 2 years ago, I would get caught up in my own racial shit. There was so much shit I had to work through. I had to work through my own racism. I had to work through my internalized racism, internalized oppression. I had to work through my own biracial situation. I had to work through a lot of those things, right? So I spent the last 2 years doing a lot of work with a lot of people to get to the point where I feel now that I'm in an emotional position where I've dealt with my own shit, so I can actually show up without letting my own guilt, anxiety, any of those things cloud the situation. So I can now show up in the way that I want to show up. Came to me through a course by Toy Smith about business beyond profit, where she talks about how to create a business that is not just about making all the money in the world, and why this idea of wanting to make all the money in the world is so damaging. She talked about how the modern infrastructure that we have for capitalism is built directly off of the plantations. Literally, like, you just pick it up and you can plug it in anywhere in the world now. And it didn't exist that way before plantations. So once I started to understand the historical context for how so much of what we consider right now to be just the way things are, once you understand the historical context of how they came to be, suddenly something happens in your own brain, which is that you realize that the gut feeling that you've had all along about your business, about the fact that it's not working, but you just get this feeling that there's something off and you don't know what it is, right? This is that thing, because it suddenly makes you realize that we have all constructed a world in which our value is based entirely upon either how much money we make or how much time we put into something. And if we don't make enough money and we're not putting more time into it, then we clearly don't want whatever that thing is. And we have to be able to be working more otherwise. So much so that I just had somebody say to me the other day that their boss had told them that they were going to, oh, for heaven's sakes, that overtime is an expected thing, okay, in order for promotions. So free work is important so that you can get promoted. This is very common in many, many corporations. Why is it important that we acknowledge that? Because that philosophy, right, of working all the time to get that promotion, and you should work for free until you get the promotion. So basically you're working for free so you can get that payment later? No, I don't think so. We've talked about this in podcasts before, right? But when you think about those two things, time and effort, time and productivity, then no matter how much you hustle-proof your life, okay, think about this. If I believe that my value on this planet and is dependent upon how much money I make and how many hours I spend working and being productive, how many things can I turn into money-making opportunities, right? Then even if I am able to hustle-proof my life completely and empty out my entire day, I'm at that moment going to feel like a failure because I'm not working and producing and I'm not using my time for money, which means I'm failing. So I'm going to immediately try to fill that gap with more work so that I feel like I have value, so that I feel like I'm being productive, so I feel like I'm doing something. These are really important mindset issues that we deal with as business owners that keep us locked in a place where we just are on the train, that we're doing the things that other people tell us to do. Hey, do this, do this, do this. We're like, yes, 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 I'll do it. It piles on. And at the end of at some point, we realize we're carrying too much weight. We're tired. We're exhausted. You resent your business. You're unhappy. But that's not why you signed up, right? When you first started your business, you started your business because you wanted freedom. You wanted to make money. You wanted to feel satisfaction. You wanted to be able to take your family on vacations, right? There are so many things that you started your business for, and we keep telling ourselves that one day in the future we will get there. And I will be really honest with you. Life is really fucking short. And I am over this idea of I'm going to wait until the future to be happy. I'm going to be happy right now. I'm going to live my happy life right now. I'm going to live every day as if it is my last day. I want to have, when somebody says to me, if tomorrow was the day we were going to die, how would you spend today? I want to say exactly the way I spent it, right? And in order for me to do that, there were so many things I had to learn. And I'm still learning. I'm still on the journey. And I really, really enjoy this journey. Hi, Sophia. So good to see you. I really, really enjoy this journey. I enjoy how it makes me feel. I enjoy how it makes others around me feel. And when I reflected upon this, I realized that I want that to be what I do with my hours. That's what I want to do with my time. I don't want to be a business strategist who's going to teach you the step-by-step with roadmap to success. I don't want to spend my time focusing on that aspect. I want to spend my time focusing on this other part of it. Now, obviously, that other part of it exists, so it's still part of the training. But the purpose for which my business was originally set up was to help you with Facebook. My purpose for when I first set up my business, that is exactly, I said it, I'm going to help people with Facebook ads and set up direct to success. That was what it was. Over the years, it's evolved a lot. And it has evolved to the point where it no longer fits what I'm doing. And so I've made the decision to close down the Social Strategy Squad effective August 31st. I have shut down all my other groups, so I have no groups that I'm in. My only Facebook presence from now on is going to be this business page and my personal profile. That's it. I will have no other Facebook presence. This page is going to be now what was once in the squad, which is posts about, Christy will continue to make posts about business strategy, about how to do those things will all still happen, because that is part of having a happy and healthy business, is understanding those things, dealing with some of those issues and so on. However, where I am going to participate more is going to be on the mindset side. Okay. Thank you, Catherine. I'm so happy. I am so happy right now. I can't even tell you. This is like, I feel like, oh, so glorious. Okay. So now we're only going to have, and that'll take me off of Facebook significantly, because I would really, for the last year, I've had a lot of trouble being on Facebook. I don't like it. I don't like the way Facebook makes me feel. I don't mean because my feed is cluttered with, bad things. I know how to deal with that stuff. I just don't like the platform when I use it as a method of business. But when I use it as a way to just share shit and engage with people, I really do like it. And so I want that back. And to get that back, I'm removing the bulk of my business off of Facebook. So we'll just have one business page. That's it. The squad group will be archived. Anyone who is in it can stay in it. You will always have access to everything. Squad members, look for a post this afternoon, right? I have meetings back to back today. I don't even know how that happened. But, I know why. Because I have my meeting with Toy Smith today, and I'm like freaking excited. And I didn't care that it was back to back, because I was like, I need to meet with her now. You'll get a thing which will basically give you access to every course that I've ever created for free if you're in the squad. So you don't have to worry. You'll still have access to everything. The community just will no longer exist. I've canceled everybody's squad subscriptions, and everyone has been refunded for August. If for some reason you didn't get refunded or you didn't get canceled, just let us know and we'll sort it out. So that's the Facebook side of it. I am moving so much more into the podcast area, because this is the start. This is the seed that creates everything else that I want to do. Okay. So podcast, stop shitting all over yourself. I'm no longer going to just be a talking head. I'm working with the PR person. Jordan and I are working together. She's absolutely amazing. I love her. We've been putting together the guests, how to do the podcast with guests. Like, she's really great at helping me figure this framework out. So I'm bringing on people specifically to help with a few things. One, do you have a tool or a tactic that will help you people to remove more things from their schedule, more stuff that they need to do, and create clarity around why they're doing it so that they feel confident in their decision-making process. Same thing applies for things that they're doing in their business, mindset shifts, and so on and so forth. The goal is to bring in experts who understand how to help us feel confident in our decisions so that we don't feel like we have to constantly keep searching for validation, okay? Because that's one of the big keys, so that the doubt goes away. I mean, the doubt still be there, but you'll be able to deal with it. So we're bringing on guests. The podcast is going to be crazy. Now, my business is moving more into Patreon now. So you are welcome to go to Patreon right now and sign up if you want. But I will tell you that don't do it if you are a squad member. Oh my God, if you are a squad member or ever have been a squad member, do not sign up right now. You have a $1 sign up. No one else gets that, but you have been with me for 100 years. So you're going to get $1 sign up for Patreon and you'll have access to everything. But if you are not a squad member or have never been a squad member, you are welcome to sign up now. But it's blank right now. I just launched it so that I can start doing things on it. But it is going to start having more stuff, as in like I have no posts. I'm going to start, the posts will be going up tonight. And the squad will get the post today and so on and so forth. So everything's happening today. But you have a month to do this. My goal is not to create panic. It's not to create, oh my God, I got to do something. Everything will work out for whoever it is. So if you run into any issue of any kind, just let me know and we'll figure it out, right? Ultimately, I want you to know that this exists now and we're moving into a Patreon space. Now, in Patreon, we are going to be doing so many more exciting things that I feel really called toward. So one of the first things that we're going to be doing is, okay, all right, so here's what we're adding in, okay? Every Monday at 1 p.m., we're going to be doing our book club. And the book club is going to be Laziness Does Not Exist. I'm setting this book club up for people like us, which means that we'll have half an hour where I read. I will read out half an hour. So you do not have to have read the book. I will read it to you for the first half hour. Then we will talk a little bit about it for half an hour. And then we'll use the wall to do any additional conversations related to the book. So we're going to have a book club. The first Tuesday of every month will be a monthly live hot seat session. Okay. And basically that's going to be, you want your business, you want your life, you want something analyzed, you want to workshop something. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be business. It can be legit anything that you want to workshop through a challenge that you're having, a mindset issue. Just bring it in and we'll talk about it. We'll workshop it together. Monthly hot seats for people. Okay. Wednesdays at 10 a.m. will be Stop Shitting All Over Yourself. However, it will no longer be live on this page. The only live access that people will get now will be within the Patreon. Instead, at 10 a.m., we will drop the podcast on this page. So you will still get the podcast on Wednesdays at 10, but it's going to be the edited version. Patreon members get early access, okay? And then, so those are some of the things that we're going to have, the 3 live events that we'll have. We will also have the ability for you to vote on podcast topics and guests. Monthly Shed the Shoulds worksheet to help you keep on track each month, to just for people who are maybe just need a little bit of extra checking off the list kind of thing, so that you can use that to replace the metrics in your mind that say how much money can I spend, can I make, and how much time can I work, right? Depending on the level that you want to sign up on, you'll get different access. So we have a $5.99 level, which I created specifically for the number of people who messaged me who were like, dude, I just don't need the squad. I don't need all this other stuff, but I want to support you. And I just had no mechanism for that. You'll get monthly Shed the Shame worksheets. You'll get access to the full version of the podcast without the editing, things like that. It goes all the way up to $147, where you get access to the hot seat sessions, all of the book club, the reading. You get to participate in the conversation. And in between, you get varying levels of access to that. But we have levels of access depending on how much time you have, how much time you want to spend, how you learn best. Some people learn really well by just listening. So tier 2 is called I like to watch, right? So if you like to watch, then that's all you really get in tier 2 is access to watching things. Tier 3 gives you a little bit more access to talking. And tier 4 gives you access to all the things, right? Everything. So you basically will ultimately end up getting access depending on whatever it is that you're looking for and how you learn. You can access this right now by going to minessa.com/Patreon. There is a whole FAQ there. Again, if you want to sign up right now, not a squad member. If you're a squad member, don't do it because you'll be signing up for like the $1 version. I have to open it up for you individually. So what the goal of these things are is this. I will put together your healing curriculum. I'll pick the books. I will share my podcast that I listen to. Sophia is already on board with this because Sophia is constantly sharing amazing shit in the squad that helps us to women of impact. Oh my God, she always has some great shit in there that I'm like, oh, listen to this podcast or listen to this podcast. Those are amazing things for us to work on together so that we don't have to do the legwork of going and looking for things. Hey, look, this is an inspirational meme that I loved and it changed my life. Great, here you go, share that. But it's really about workshopping through no longer feeling like shit about your business, because I'm going to tell you something right now. You deserve to feel happy, successful, fulfilled right now. There is no reason other than the stories that we tell ourselves that you have to wait to be happy, or that you have to wait until you've checked off these various monetary time, income, whatever it is, boxes. It's so important for us to reflect upon who created this checklist that says, when I've checked off all these things, I will be happy. And the work that we're going to do together is really about reflecting upon who created that checklist, because it wasn't you. You did not create your checklist. I didn't create my checklist. None of us created our checklists. These checklists were created, some of them hundreds of years ago. Some of these checklists were created, some pieces on the checklist were created 30 years ago. Some were created 50 years ago. But they all were added to our checklist of I'm enough over the course of time, and we just accept that they belong there. We just agree, okay, these belong here. In this group, we will reflect upon those things so that you can build your own checklist for yourself. So that in your mind, you can say, wait, I don't care if I just realized I don't care if I have a big car. Why do I have a big car? When I did that, I actually sold my big car. When I realized I didn't care, I was like, oh, okay, well, now my payments have gone down and I don't need to make as much money. So yay, I feel so much better, right? We tackle it from a variety of different ways. Instead of trying to solve the problem of our feeling of contentment and happiness and security from just the one side of I got to make more money and get more clients, you open up an entire spectrum of solutions to yourself. And that's what we're going to do in the Patreon. So this is the direction that I want to go in with the podcast. And then finally, I have my creativity, which if those of you who have been following me, you've seen my artwork go fucking crazy. I am so freaking inspired. Oh my God, like shit's just coming out of my hands. It's just great. It's amazing, right? Wait till you see the graphics that I'm doing for my So Long Farewell post today. It's like mind blowing. I know, I just can't help it. They're just so good. This is why I never get my graphics, by the way. I know that a lot of people used to say I should outsource my graphics, and I was like, dude, that's not happening. And now I think it's finally clear why I kept saying that. It was not me being stubborn. It was that I knew in my soul that one of my checkboxes that I put on there, was being an artist. And I was never able to check it off. Because I always said I have no talent. I have said I have no talent for 35 years. Think about that. Now when I look at the things I draw, I look at them and I say to myself, this picture is evidence that you can tell yourself a lie your entire life and believe it to be true simply because it was a consistent lie from beginning to end. From day one, I said I have no talent. Until today, I have no talent. Therefore, it must be true. It was a lie. But it was a consistent lie. So I believed it. I don't know where the story, somebody told me the story at one point when I was 15 or young. I remember it was around that time where that made me feel like I had no talent. And from that moment, I never wanted to draw again. I was like, I'm done. And I just have never picked up, I just don't, right? I've always done other things. And now I see, holy shit, I have talent. And what that taught me was that every single one of us is capable of telling that exact same type of lie our entire life and believe it simply because it was consistent from the beginning to the end, right? I believe it. This is how it is, and so on and so forth. And then you challenge yourself by finding a different angle in, right? Because as it turns out, if you hand me a marker and a piece of paper, I can't draw. You hand me acrylic paint and something, nope, it doesn't work. I didn't have the right framework. I had the talent, but not the right framework. When I got my iPad with Procreate, suddenly I had the right framework and I'm creating up a storm, right? There are so many things that exist in your life right now that I promise you, the solution that you are currently banging your head against is not the solution. What you want to do is get higher up. I don't know what the solution is for you. We will figure out the solutions for ourselves together, because that is another one of these problems, is that each of us has a unique life. And though there are frameworks that work for all of us, we have to work together to be able to figure out how to fit that framework onto our lives, like Play-Doh. Otherwise, it's like, this thing is hard already. I'm trying to put it in and it's not going to fit. It's like a square peg round hole. But if it's Play-Doh, we're like, okay, let's do this thing. And okay, we can workshop through these things together. And I will tell you, I was doing this by myself for a while, like by myself. No friends, no community, nothing. I was literally in my own cocoon. Starting in March, I started to invite people into this story, into my journey, into the things that are happening. And wow, my progress accelerated so fast. And it made me realize when we do this together, we get results faster. So you can see now, when you see how I've changed everything, by the way, you can go to minessa.com/Patreon, or you can go to minessa.com and there's a merch button there now. Go click on that merch button, because there's some really there's some queer, sweet, but also like, oh my God, it's so fun. So I'm really excited to share these with you. Oh my God, I just saw somebody say that someone told her she was lazy. That is infuriating. I'm going to come there and tell, like, not that you said it, that somebody said that to you. Oh, I have so much to say about that. Okay. So now looking at comments, I've word vomited the fuck out of myself right now. I've also decided that I've kind of just given up caring what people think. I had to let it go. You remember I was telling you I had this band of tension around my pelvic area and then a band of tension going this way? I don't have them anymore. They're gone. Completely gone. I feel totally free. And it released when the release happened as part of my process of just physically kind of releasing this idea that I had to live up to anything at all. And I realized that I trust in myself. This is the other part that's really important. I actually came up with my list of 10 things that I think are important to live a successful, happy life. And the highest level of the Patreon gets you access to early chapters of my book, draft chapters of my book as I write it, because I'm writing a book now about these things. Because looking back now on my life, looking back on the things that I've done and accomplished, there are threads in there. I can see what helps, what doesn't. The last 5 years have been probably the best education I could ever hope to get in the school of life. It's amazing. And so I'm really looking forward to sharing some of those things with you, and sharing the people that I learned from. So one of the things that's super important about why I'm doing this Patreon and why I want to do the podcast the way I do with guests is because I did not come up with a lot of these ideas. I internalized them into myself, but I have so many teachers, so many resources, so many people who have done work before me that I am building off of, or that I am assimilating into myself, and sort of like we are Borging it. And I want you to have access to those people too, because they will also help to accelerate things, especially because not all of them, like some of them are bite-sized. Some of them are, if you like watching, some of them are like, it's based off of how you learn, because we all learn differently. And that's another challenge, right? Is making sure that you're able to get what you need, like without, like, you don't have to pay for like 8 million things you're not going to use. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Alrighty. This is where you will shine, says LaFern. I love learning from you and being challenged to know myself more and pushing through the mental blocks. Dude, the mental blocks was the only problem I had this year. Like, I'll be honest. Once I got to the other side, and I feel this way right now, I actually figured out the making money, the living. I figured out how all the pieces fit together, right? And I've shown that in the last, how many years I've been doing this now? 10 years or so? Even though I didn't know how a lot of these things happened, I can see okay, yeah, all right, I figured this part of it out, right? I've totally lost my train of thought. Wow. Totally, like, literally was there and then bam, gone. Okay. Book club, I know, Danny, isn't that exciting? I'm so excited. It was Cindy's idea, and then Cindy gave me some really great thoughts about how she would like to, like, she said some things. I was like, I love this. And then Katie gave me some really good ideas too. So I'm really looking forward to that. Uh, Christy, dude, okay, so we're closing down the Team Minessa business page. I thought you'd already closed down the Team Minessa business page. Alrighty. Let's see what else we have now. I've had multiple teachers make me believe I wasn't talented enough. It took this long for me to say fuck them. Exactly. Somebody told you that story, Sophia. They said to you, that isn't good, that's not you don't have talent, whatever. Bad, stupid, ugly, it doesn't matter. They said something at some point. And you took that to be truth because they know better than you. They're older than you. They told you, okay, right? Words matter. God, words are so important. And we brought that story with us all the way to now. That person is dead now, or you haven't seen them in years, or whatever. But they have such an influence on your life, and they don't even remember who you are, right? And I realized that there's always going to be someone who has an opinion about me. So, like, you guys are all super happy that I'm doing this. I guarantee there's going to be people who are going to be like, it's terrible, stupid idea, you're going to drop your business, failure. There's going to be people who are going to be like, oh, man, she couldn't hack it. She's quitting, right? There's going to be all kinds of stories that people will tell based off of their own framework, their own life, their own shit. And what I realize is that what they think about me has nothing to do with me. It really doesn't. And I'm going to say this right now. What other people think of you has literally nothing to do with you. It almost never does. It almost always has to do with whatever it is that you said, you did, you whatever, how it makes them feel in the context of their own lives. Why? Because we are all the protagonists, we're the heroes of our own movie. We're the first person character. It's on us, right? I'll be really honest. There's a lot of people out there who are like, they come in, they're bit players, or people who come in and they're like supporting cast. But I am the hero of my own life. And when Sophia comes in, so let's pretend I'm your teacher, right? So I'm your teacher. Sophia comes in, you're a kid, you're drawing something, and I think you have amazing talent, and I wish that I could draw sons like you do, but I haven't dealt with my self-esteem shit. I haven't dealt with this. And so I say something like, yeah, your colors are wrong, right? Has nothing to do with you. You could be Sophia, you could be Jack, you could be John, you could be anybody. It doesn't matter who you are. You just made a better son than I could draw, and I'm jealous. And so I'm going to say something now, and I may even regret it immediately afterwards, right? But it's too late. The damage is already done. And it's important to remember that, because the more I internalize that, the more I realize I can't care what other people think, because there's always going to be a reason for me to feel like a failure then, because right now I feel great. Somebody's going to come in 10 minutes and tell me that this is a stupid idea, and I'm going to feel bad. And then someone else is going to come and tell me this is brilliant. I'm going to feel good. And then basically I'm on an emotional fucking roller coaster all day, because I'm letting everyone else's opinions of me, and I'm sure not everybody, but like certain people, of course, dictate how I feel, right? Like, and sometimes it happens, right? Someone will say something and you'll just feel stung, and you'll be like, why do I feel so, like, I don't, like, intellectually I don't feel bad. Like, I get it, it's fine, but inside you feel bad, right? And part of the work that we're going to do in the group will be about just creating that synergy, so that the intellectual part of you that understands it is able to kind of like work with the subconscious part of you to feel that. So that if somebody says that sun yellow looks weird, be like, that's the color of that sun. If you don't like it, paint your own sun, right? In high school teacher, oh, Danny, I had a high school teacher tell me I was lazy. Dude, fuck that shit. Seriously, fuck that shit. Like, I carry that with me too, which is why it hits me so hard. Because a lot of times, and it actually is something that has carried on, I've seen happen in the workplace now too, where people who learn differently, or who are, you know, just, or like millennials, for example, are really great examples, because millennials work differently, they think differently, they have different, I fucking love what I've learned from the millennials, right? But if you are someone of the boomer or Gen X generation and you are not able to understand how that framework is different, then you're going to see them as lazy, right? I remember vividly, and I've actually always been this way, so this is something that I've carried with me for years. I brought this, so when I was first starting out in management, I didn't care if people were on private message. I don't care. You want to message your friends, you want to AOL, do what you want. But I was like, dude, but be mindful of optics, okay? Just make sure that, you know, you're not sitting there chatting all day. Like, just make sure your monitor is such a way, like, I know that you're doing the, but you got to be able to do the work. And for people of a certain age, they need to be able to work for 90 minutes and then do something, or whatever it is, right? People work differently. But I had somebody then come to me and be like, why is your employee messing around all day? And I'm like, well, are you unhappy with the work that she's providing? No? Well, great then. What does it matter to you what they're doing with their time, right? But these are a lot of old ideas. So Danny, this goes back to these agreements that we made, right? So let's think about what that looks like, this agreement that we're talking about. So this agreement says that if you apply yourself, you'll be successful. If you do the homework properly, you'll be successful. So let's assume that you're like me, you have ADHD, right? Maybe you have dyslexia, like some of my friends. You're going to have trouble doing this work. Now, let's say, for example, I make you watch a documentary on the exact same thing and then have you record a video saying the exact same thing. And you're like, dude, that I can do. No problem, right? Be like, okay, let's work with that. But remember, this is a long time ago when these ideas were put into place. Now, that's not how it's done. You read the thing and then you write the response. This is how you do the work. And if you don't, then you're lazy. You're not applying yourself. So now you're working hard at home. You're studying. You're doing your best. But it just doesn't matter how much time you put in. It doesn't matter. It's not working. So after a while, you'll just stop. I just did. I was like, fuck it. I don't care, right? And here's why you just stop. Because if you apply yourself, you fail. If you don't apply yourself, you fail. And either way, they're telling you that you're lazy. So it doesn't really matter what you do. You're just lazy, right? Okay, well, I'm just fine. I'm just not going to do anything. Why would I waste my time doing this if you're just going to call me lazy anyway? That's the philosophy so many of us brought from the 80s, 90s, 2000s. That philosophy still exists today. But we know better now. Especially everybody on this freaking podcast. We all know better now. So we can do better now, right? This book, Laziness Does Not Exist, I feel needs to be required reading for every human being on the planet. Because it helps to understand, deconstruct the framework in our minds about why we feel compelled to always be doing. If you're somebody who always feels like you're the person who sits down and then you pick up and clean up a little bit and then you sit down and then you do a little bit and you sit down and you're okay. And then you just like, you're always moving. There's always something to do. There's always this, right? There is a reason for this. And when you read this book, I can commit to you that by the end of it, come join us in Patreon. We'll do it together. That by the end of it, you will be able to sit down and do nothing and feel good about it. You won't be thinking about what you need to do. You won't be getting up and you'll just feel good doing nothing. And that has been the greatest gift that I have received in the last, it's been a really big gift. Okay. Already ordered mine. Yes. Okay. If I could only remember all those years back. Amen, sister. Amen. Okay, I just stopped drawing after that art teacher told me I was doing it all wrong the way I was doing it. My mom was pissed. I was 7. Yeah, dude, 7 years old. They fucked you up at that age, right? By saying something, just doing it wrong. You're 7, right? Like 7 is a time where you're exploring your creativity. It doesn't matter what you do when you're 7 and drawing. It's fucking right? Yes, that guilt will go away. LaFern, I don't feel any guilt. None whatsoever. Let me tell you what happened yesterday. Oh my God. Let me tell you, this is what this book did for me. Okay. And it's not just this book, it's a book in the conversation, but read the book. It'll be more than enough. Like for many people, like I actually had a book, like I was book clubbing it with Katie. She wasn't reading it. I just kept book clubbing it with her. I found it very helpful to talk through a lot of these things. Right. But yesterday I posted some pictures, right? I had something that needed to get done. It really needed to get done. And I was like, as soon as I do this thing, I'll stop working, because I've been really good about stopping working and, just my time and figuring out how I want to use it and that kind of thing. And so I was going to stop working at 5. And I was like, all right, I'll stop working. But I looked out and it's like nothing I've ever seen outside. Like the clouds are crazy. Just look at the pictures. Like I have so many, I've never seen anything like it. I literally felt like I was living in heaven. And I said to myself, and I had that feeling, that feeling where you're just like, I got to do this thing. And then you get done, right? And I went outside and this helped. Okay. I shook a lot. I did a lot of shaking, kind of like when you shiver from your cold, I have a lot of my body I've gotten really good at redistributing my energy through violent spasms. It works amazing. So I shook it all out so you can dance, get a song on, just do something to shake out the tension that's in your body. That's the first step. You have to be able to shake out that tension. All right. I did that outside. So while I'm shaking out my tension, I looked there and I said, this work will be here today. It'll be here tomorrow. If I die in this moment, it will still be there. And then someone else is going to come and they're going to do it. This work will always be there. This moment where this is happening is now. And as I walked the dogs, I thought, I'm going to not work now. And I stopped working, shut everything off, went out there and spent literally this rainbow, all this shit that was out there for like 20 minutes. There was literally a 20-minute long rainbow. And I literally thought to myself, universe, are you smiling down on me right now? Like, are you saying this is the right path? Oh, it's so incredible. And, but I didn't feel guilty. I just stopped. And I just went on and I enjoyed the rest of my night. I watched some Deep Space Nine. I did some drawing. I talked to Cindy. I wrote the post. It is about letting go of guilt. And I want this feeling for you. I want this feeling for you. It sucks to always feel like it's never enough. You just always have to keep moving. It's exhausting. And it doesn't matter when you go to bed or when you wake up, you're still tired. And there's always more to do. And you look at your list and you're just like, and though the tactics, techniques, and all of those that I've created, they all work. They don't work if inside we feel like we have to just keep going, because if we don't, we just have no value or purpose in the world. And I don't know that we all think about it in that way specifically, but it definitely kind of nutshells to that, right? Like just nutshells to like a feeling of lack of worthiness, you know? And I think that for me, as I started to, and I've been working with a bunch of people, so like this has been something that I've already been doing over the last 6 months with not just myself, but with a few other people. You know, as we were we were all going through the similar things at the same time, and so we just kind of talked about it, right, as we were doing it. And we are all we're all in various stages. I think I'm probably the farthest along in terms of I don't give a fuck. But I think that has a lot to do with the fact that I just don't give a fuck. Like I just don't care anymore. Like I mean, I care, but I will be living my most authentic, honest life from, well, I would say this day forth, but it was actually a while back, but from that day forth, that's it. Blue hair, queer, Pakistani, it doesn't matter. This is who I am, right? And like, with the one life that I have, I want to make sure that the people who are looking for the I don't want to call it value, but the experience, because that's really what I'm offering is the experience in a Patreon. Like the Patreon is more of an experience. I want people to be able to find me. And in order for them to find me, I have to be a peacock that is easy to find. Because we have spent so much time in hiding. We hide that we need special accommodations at work. We hide that we're dyslexic. We hide that we have ADHD or neurodivergent. We hide that we're sick because we don't want anybody to think we can't do our jobs and we don't want to lose our job. You know, we mask. We code switch and change the language that we speak or the way that we speak when we're in one place versus the other space. You work, if you are of color, a lot of people try to whiten themselves up as much as they can in terms of their dress, their speech, the things that they say and do in order to make it more comfortable for the people around them, right? We are living in a place of hypervigilance where we're always trying to make sure that we're hiding these spaces of us so that people will continue to give us money and we can be successful and that kind of thing. And that's a very scary place to live in. And what I have found this last year with the people I've been working with and myself is that I literally dumped my business on the ground. I said, I just can't do this right now. I'm just too tired. I'm too broken. I have all these things going on, just all this stuff, right? Literally stopped all the things, right? You guys have seen it. I've been chaos, and not in a good way. But yet I was able to achieve all of my happiness goals because my happiness goals were no longer around exactly how much money I made, how many clients I had. I understood now that my happiness goals were about freedom of time, were about drawing and being creative, about self-development, about honesty and integrity. These are the things that make me happy, and living my code, and I have a code. That makes me that's actually what I'm writing is my book about my code. That makes me happy, right? So if that makes me happy, then the question becomes, how do I get those things? And when you approach it from that direction, you find that there's actually a lot of different ways to get there. And it doesn't all have to be this one thing that we've decided because we have tunnel vision about our businesses. We need to get outside of the tunnel vision and really open up to see that there is more that impacts your happiness, security, and success in life than simply that one thing. Okay. Alrighty. On a subconscious level, that's what it comes down to. Yep. Okay. Oh my God, I made you cry? Rock on. Sweet. Okay. My job here is done at 10:59. Thank you very much. You know you had a good podcast when you make somebody cry. I made myself cry, so I guess that's a good podcast. All right. So here's what we're doing today. Okay. Today, expect to see the post club. I've been writing them. I've had people, last night I sent them to a bunch of people to take a look at and like give me their feedback and thoughts. Just, I want to make sure that it was clear, like, and that like it made sense. So that's all, those are all going up today. Oh, hold on. Is this, for fuck's sake, where did it go? Ah, there you are. I want to recommend that you wait until I make the post today to sign up for the Patreon. And here's why. Because I don't have any welcome posts ready. Like, it's all set up, but I don't have any welcome posts ready. It won't be a very good onboarding experience. So, but I really want to encourage you to go look at it. Like, just go look at it because it's fucking gorgeous. And I was told last night that I killed it in terms of what it is that I'm trying to do and accurately describing what it is that I'm doing. So that is something that a lot of people struggle with, myself included. I really struggled over the last year with my language because I was teaching like roadmap, but I really want to be doing mindset. And so I really struggled with how to do it. Now that I sort of like have just whoosh everything off the side and I know where my focus is, it's so much easier for me to say that stop shooting all over yourself as a podcast for people who are tired of feeling like shit because they don't fit into society's norms. And here you learn how to be successful and be happy by being exactly who you are, changing nothing about yourself except what you want to change to make yourself happier, and find success, security, money, any of those things that you're looking for that end up on your list. You can get all of those things, and you can get them without hiding behind the mask. For me, that is the most, the more I have released my masks, the more I have released other people's, what I think were upon me, the freer I've felt and the more successful I've been. And this has held true for me, my clients, my friends, my family members, like anyone who has followed this general way, they have found life to be much easier. Okay, so that is what I want. That is my next phase. I'm excited. I'm excited as fuck. Okay. So if you want to take a look and see just sort of like what kind of art stuff I've been working on, obviously you can look at this, but take a look at my Instagram. I have a couple of posts in there. Another one's going to go up today. I made a post on my business page, where I'm wearing a sweet, sweet bikini, that I gave myself some wings. You'll start to see kind of like what it is that I'm going in and what direction I'm going in. Also check out Minessa.com/merch, I believe is what it is. No, it's not. Just Minessa.com, and then the link for the merch is at the top. Take a look at some of the merch. And if you have ideas for merch, let me know. By the way, one of the things I'm adding to the Patreon is special event merch items so that are only available to Patreon members. I feel like my art is going to be a really big part of my future, like a really big part. So I'm really excited to see where that takes us. So yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being with me for the last 5 years. Reminder, if you are a current squad member or have been a squad member, do not buy any of the Patreon memberships that are not the $1 membership. Okay, that one is for you as a thank you. It includes 100% off discounts for things. It includes an enormous amount of perks. Like you literally get everything that I have ever created that I'm able to give you for free, I give you for free, and then everything else I've given you significant discounts. You, the squad, has co-created the space that I am now migrating into Patreon. I just really, I'm so grateful to you for that. I'm so grateful, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we co-create together. All right. I'm off to see the wizard and take the dogs out. So have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I will see you guys next Wednesday for Stop shitting all over yourself. This next one will still be live. I will let you know when we are no longer live. And then for anyone who signs up to the Patreon in this week, we are launching everything next week. So we're just going to be doing all the stuff next week. The book club, monthly hot seat, you name it, all happening next week. All right. So we are diving in, everybody. We're getting started. I am looking forward to getting started with you. Take care.